Grab yourself a strong cup of coffee, or something a little stronger, because we're about to dive into something that just might change the way you see the world. Well now, let me ask you something. How much of what you know is true, and how much is just what you've been told to believe? This ain't a place for easy answers or surface-level thinking. We're here to dig deeper, to question, and to explore the stories that don't always make the history books. Some of it may challenge what you believe. Some of it might inspire you. And some of it just might make you rethink everything you thought you knew. But if you're the kind that don't take kindly to questioning, if you're here looking for comfortable truths and the same old stories, this might not be the place for you. No harm in turning back now. But if you've got a mind that likes to wander, a curiosity that won't quit, and a hunger for something beyond what's been handed down, well then, you're in the right place. Stick around, and let's see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. History's got a funny way of hiding things, and the deeper you dig, the stranger the world starts to look. Lost inventions, buried ideas, minds that saw too far ahead and paid the price for it. The kind of stories that make you stop and wonder, what if we've been looking at things all wrong? Welcome to Frontier Unknown. I'm Michael the Mountain King. This is where we push past the limits of what we think we know. If you got a mind for discovery, if you're the kind that don't settle for easy answers, then you're in the right place. Subscribe, stick around, and let's see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Now, let's get to it. The enigmatic story of Max Loughan represents one of modern science's most intriguing mysteries. At just 13 years old, this young prodigy captured global attention with his ambitious claims about free energy and revolutionary scientific discoveries. His sudden rise to prominence, followed by an equally sudden disappearance, has sparked intense debate in both scientific and conspiracy theory communities. Max burst onto the scene with what he described as a Tesla-inspired energy device, supposedly capable of harvesting electromagnetic energy from the air. Built in his parents' garage using a coffee can, some wire, and a spoon, the device allegedly produced electricity from ambient electromagnetic fields. This invention drew immediate comparisons to Nikola Tesla's own pioneering work in wireless energy transmission. The simplicity of the materials used, combined with the complexity of the theoretical framework behind it, captured public imagination and led to widespread media coverage. The parallels between Max and Tesla run surprisingly deep. Both demonstrated extraordinary intellectual capabilities at young ages, and both focused intensely on the concept of free energy. The idea that unlimited clean power could be harvested from the environment. Like Tesla, Max spoke about revolutionary ideas that challenged established scientific paradigms, earning him both devoted followers and skeptical critics. His articulate explanations of complex scientific concepts, delivered with the confidence of a seasoned researcher, seemed almost impossible coming from someone so young. What makes this story particularly compelling is Max's apparent connection to CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. According to various sources, he displayed an unusual understanding of quantum mechanics and particle physics that seemed beyond his years. He spoke about concepts like the Mandela effect, a phenomenon where large groups of people share identical false memories, and its potential relationship to CERN's experiments with the Large Hadron Collider. His insights into these complex topics raised questions about the source of his knowledge. The Large Hadron Collider itself plays a fascinating role in this narrative. As the largest and most powerful particle accelerator ever built, it represents humanity's most ambitious attempt to understand the fundamental laws of physics. The facility's massive scale and complexity, combined with its goal of probing the very fabric of reality, has made it a focal point for both scientific research and alternative theories. Max's apparent grasp of its complexities at such a young age raised eyebrows in the scientific community and led to speculation about possible connections between his work and CERN's research. The story takes a dramatic turn with Max's sudden disappearance from public view. After making headlines and appearing in numerous interviews and documentaries, he seemingly vanished from the spotlight. This disappearance has led to intense speculation about what might have happened to the young genius. Some suggest he simply retreated from public life to continue his research privately, while others propose more controversial explanations involving institutional suppression of his ideas. The concept of free energy has long been a controversial topic in scientific circles. Throughout history, numerous inventors and researchers who claimed to have developed free energy devices have faced significant opposition from established institutions. The energy sector, worth trillions of dollars globally, has enormous influence over technological development and implementation. This historical context adds weight to theories about possible suppression of Max's work. Some theorists point to the Inventions Secrecy Act, a real piece of legislation that allows the government to classify and suppress certain technologies deemed sensitive to national security. They suggest Max's work might have drawn attention from authorities concerned about its implications for the energy industry. This act has been used thousands of times since its implementation, raising questions about how many potentially revolutionary technologies remain hidden from public view. Critics of Max's work argue that his device violated fundamental laws of physics, particularly the conservation of energy principle. They suggest his demonstrations were either misunderstood or deliberately misleading. Some point out that many of his explanations contained scientific inaccuracies or relied on misunderstood principles. These critics often emphasize the importance of maintaining scientific rigor and skepticism when evaluating extraordinary claims, yet supporters maintain that Max's disappearance from public view is suspicious, particularly given the pattern of other free energy inventors facing similar fates. They draw parallels to Tesla's own story, noting how many of his more revolutionary ideas were suppressed or ridiculed during his lifetime, only to be validated decades later. The similarity between these historical patterns and Max's case adds another layer of intrigue to the mystery. The intersection with CERN and the Mandela effect adds another dimension to the story. Some theorists suggest that CERN's experiments might be causing subtle changes in reality itself, pointing to the Mandela effect as potential evidence. Max's apparent knowledge of these phenomena has led to speculation about whether he understood something fundamental about the nature of reality that others had missed. His discussions of quantum mechanics and parallel universes, while controversial, demonstrated an unusual sophistication for someone his age. Recent attempts to locate Max or verify his current activities have yielded little concrete information. Some reports suggest he's simply living a private life, while others speculate about more elaborate scenarios involving government intervention or corporate suppression. The lack of clear information about his current whereabouts and activities has only fueled further speculation and debate. The story of Max Loughan raises profound questions about innovation, institutional power, and the control of revolutionary technologies. It highlights the tension between breakthrough discoveries and established interests, particularly in the energy sector. Whether Max was a genuine prodigy whose ideas were suppressed, or simply a bright young person whose claims were overblown, his story serves as a fascinating case study in the complex relationship between innovation and institutional power. The mystery of Max Loughan continues to generate discussion and debate. His story touches on fundamental questions about free energy, the nature of reality, and the control of transformative technologies. While the truth about what happened to Max may remain elusive, his case has become a powerful symbol of the challenges facing those who dare to challenge established scientific and technological paradigms. History has a way of repeating itself. Every great breakthrough, every radical idea that threatened to shift the balance of power, has been met with resistance. The truth is, progress isn't just about discovery. It's about who controls that discovery. Max Loughan's story isn't unique. Time and again, we've seen brilliant minds step forward with revolutionary ideas, only to be met with silence, suppression, or something far worse. The deeper you dig, the clearer the pattern becomes. Innovation is not just about science, it's about power. What happens when an idea is too disruptive? When technology threatens the industries, the governments, and the institutions that run the world? Some would say the inventors of such ideas are silenced, their discoveries buried, their names erased or ridiculed. But if you think this is just some wild theory, take a hard look at history. Men have stood at the edge of discovery, holding ideas that could have changed the world, only to be silenced. Their research vanished, their patents locked away, their voices erased. Some were ridiculed, some were ruined, and some never lived to see what came next. A car that runs on water, a limitless source of free energy, a power grid that no one controls. Ideas that could have freed people, but threatened those in control. And when power is threatened, history has shown us exactly what happens next. So let's go back. Let's talk about the men who saw too much, knew too much, and never got the chance to share it. Throughout history, countless inventors have challenged the status quo, only to find their breakthroughs dismissed, hidden, or even actively suppressed. Visionaries like Nikola Tesla, Victor Schauberger, Stanley Meyer, Eugene Malov, Dr. Wilhelm Reich, and Aaron Salter Jr. proposed revolutionary concepts, only to disappear into obscurity, face institutional roadblocks, or even meet untimely deaths under mysterious circumstances. Some may call these men outrageous, their ideas too ambitious, even impossible. But is it truly impossible, or simply inconvenient for those who hold power? Whether you believe their discoveries were scientific breakthroughs or exaggerations, one fact remains undeniable. Thought and ideas should never be suppressed. The very essence of progress lies in free will, in the ability to question, to challenge, and to explore the unknown. Nikola Tesla, a pioneer in wireless energy transmission, sought to create free and unlimited electricity for the world. His Wardenclyffe Tower, an ambitious project designed to transmit energy through the Earth's atmosphere, was abruptly shut down when J.P. Morgan, his financial backer, realized it could provide free power, threatening the energy market. Upon Tesla's death in 1943, the U.S. government seized many of his documents, some of which remain classified to this day. Victor Schauberger, an Austrian scientist, explored water vortex technology and implosion energy, an alternative to conventional combustion engines that could potentially harness the natural power of fluid dynamics for free energy. His discoveries in harnessing natural motion could have changed energy generation forever. Before his mysterious death in 1958, he was allegedly coerced into handing over his patents, and much of his work vanished into classified military research. Stanley Meyer, the inventor of the water-powered car, developed a hydrogen fuel cell, patent US 4936961, that reportedly allowed vehicles to run on nothing but water. His high-frequency electrolysis method could have disrupted the oil industry entirely. However, Meyer suddenly died in 1998 after a meeting with NATO investors, allegedly exclaiming that he had been poisoned. His research was seized, and his water fuel cell never resurfaced. Eugene Malov, a scientist and advocate of cold fusion, low-energy nuclear reactions, LENR, spoke out about scientific suppression and alternative energy. He was one of the most vocal critics of corruption in the scientific community, arguing that energy solutions were being hidden from the public. In 2004, he was mysteriously murdered, an act many believe was tied to his research. Dr. Wilhelm Reich pioneered research into orgone energy, a theoretical life force energy with potential healing and energy-producing applications. His orgone accumulator device was said to influence weather patterns and biological health, but the U.S. government labeled his work dangerous. His books were burned, his research was destroyed, and he was imprisoned, dying under suspicious circumstances in 1957. Aaron Salter Jr., a retired police officer and engineer, developed a water-powered engine prototype that he had demonstrated publicly. In 2022, just as his work was gaining attention, he was killed in a mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. Many theorists suspect foul play, pointing to the suppression of other water fuel technology pioneers before him. The suppression of radical innovation is not a new phenomenon. Ideas that threaten established industries, particularly in energy, medicine, and advanced technology, have often been silenced to maintain control over economic and political power structures. If free energy exists, who stands to lose the most? How many other revolutionary thinkers have been silenced before their breakthroughs could change the world? Governments and corporations have long held mechanisms to suppress certain patents. The Inventions Secrecy Act of 1951 allows the U.S. government to classify and restrict patents that are deemed a threat to national security or to corporate interests. Thousands of patents have been suppressed under this law, raising the question, how many life-changing inventions have been hidden from public knowledge? The greatest danger to progress is not failure. It is the refusal to explore. Yet, history tells us that innovation is unstoppable. What was once considered impossible becomes reality when enough minds dare to imagine beyond accepted limits. The stories of the past are not just tales of suppression. They are also blueprints for the future. The ancient world was filled with lost knowledge, healing techniques, sustainable technologies, and profound understandings of energy and nature that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. Ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Vedic scholars of India, possessed wisdom that is now dismissed as myth. But what if the solutions we seek today have already been pondered by those before us, waiting to be reclaimed? The universe is full of wonders, always has been. But it ain't the wonders that are missing. It's our wits that need sharpening to see them. We stand at a crossroads where innovation and imagination can once again flourish if we have the courage to think differently. Now is the time to rekindle the spirit of discovery, to question what we are told is impossible, and to push the boundaries of science and technology with fresh eyes. This is not just about the inventors who came before us. It is about us today and the ideas that live within your mind. What if the world is waiting for you to ask the right question? What if the impossible is just undiscovered knowledge? The past is littered with the echoes of ideas too powerful to be left standing. The kind of discoveries that could have rewritten the way we live, the way we think, the way power moves through the world. But power doesn't take kindly to disruption. It buries what it cannot control. Men have reached for something greater. Energy pulled from the air, machines fueled by water, forces hidden in plain sight, only to be met with locked doors, erased blueprints, and endings that came too soon. The deeper you look, the more the pattern reveals itself. These weren't just forgotten men with forgotten ideas. They were stopped. History's got a way of burying things, but truth has a way of clawing its way back to the surface. And that's what we're here for. To learn, to challenge, to wonder. Ideas have a way of lingering, waiting for someone with sharp enough eyes and a mind restless enough to see what was meant to be hidden. If you listen closely, you can still hear their whispers. If you look long enough, you might just find the pieces they left behind. Well, if you've made it this far, you're the kind of person I respect. Someone who's got a mind that don't settle for easy answers. The world's full of mysteries, more than we'll ever know. But it ain't the answers that push us forward. It's the questions. The willingness to look past what we're told, to dig deeper, to think for ourselves. If you've enjoyed this journey, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Maybe leave a like. We're just getting started, and every bit of support helps us push further into the unknown. This channel is about exploring the ideas that have been forgotten, dismissed, or buried, and asking what they mean for the future. That's all we've got for you today. Stay curious, keep questioning, keep searching. The universe has more to show us than we ever imagined. I'll see you next time.